What's up, guys? In this episode, we're going to combat the problem that we have with this air compressor of too much moisture in the lines. To do that, we're going to build an aftercooler. This is the compressor pump. This is the head, and this is the outlet of the compressor. Piston does things, compresses the air, it comes out here. Normally, it would go with a tube straight down. It would go down through that check valve and into the tank, filling your tank with air, and then it comes out your outlet. But what we're going to do is we're going to bypass that line that comes down here, and we're going to make this go where we want it to go. The trick with this is we need to make the air comes out hot. It's like 300 degrees out of the compressor, so we need to cool the air down. When you cool the air down, the moisture that's in the air is going to turn into water, and that needs to go to a low point so it can collect and be drained. So first we're going to cool the air, have the moisture droplets turn into water, and then we're going to drain the water from the air, and then we're going to put the air in the tank. Driven off the belt here is a fan that tries to cool the compressor down. So that fan is going to be blowing air. I found a transmission cooler that's about the same size. It was in my drawer. I'll put a link to it down in the description. I think I also had this in my drawer. It's a 12-volt fan, and I'm going to wire that to a little power supply so that pulls more air through this radiator, if you will. So this cooling coil is going to have the air come in, do things. It's going to come in the high point. It's going to cool throughout this coil, and hopefully liquid will gather at the low point down here and be pushed out into this water separator. Mounted it in line with the low point here, so this should catch most of the water. It's got an automatic drain for when it stops compressing, it drains the water out, and then we're going to take the outlet of that and put it back into the tank. To make all this work, I got some 3/8 inch aluminum tubing. These are, for my compressor, that's 1/2 inch NPT going into here and into the tank. So I got 1/2 inch NPT to compression fittings. That way I can just run a generic 3/8 compression fitting on all my connections. This is a AN6 fitting, so I had to get AN6 to 3/8 compression. And same down here, that was I think this was 1/2 inch NPT, so I got a reducer to 3/8 compression. Basically, I have all my fittings so that I can run 3/8 line, and I got the 3/8 compression fittings on there. So we're going to get this lines mocked up and put on there. It's a little weird getting your wrench down in here because you just can't physically get on it. But if you go down here through the side, plenty of room. Just do that. Moisture dripping out when you turn it off. I ran this for a few minutes because I wanted to demonstrate something. This line is 80, 82, depending on where it hits on the light. This line up here, though, coming out of the compressor head, well, that's deceptive. It's hot, but using one of these infrared guns doesn't really show it that well. It still shows it at 76. Fitting's 150, 160, 170, 180 when you get to the head. When I had the old tube on here before, it was like 300 degrees. So that aluminum is dissipating heat already. It's still 200 going in. Oh, that's hot. Going into the cooler, but coming out of the cooler, 65, 66, 70. It's pretty cool. And then all your air, or all your moisture is getting trapped in here, which, as you heard, when it stops, should do that. So it vents all the moisture that's out of there, that's in there, out of there. So that's going to catch the moisture, a lot of it, before it goes in and down to the tank. And then whatever else you got, you can have your regular desiccant systems on the outside. Don't mind me, I got some garbage going on there. There you have it. That's pretty simple, pretty cheap. If you're fighting this issue, or you're trying to paint, or you're trying to use a sandblast cabinet, or whatever you're trying to do, keep your air tools from rusting out, you don't want moisture in your air, this is a pretty cheap and effective way to get your things going. I'm going to get some sort of a 12-volt motor compressor. Just using like a power charger or something isn't enough amperage to turn that, so I'm going to get a 12-volt motor controller and wire into that, probably put it on a smart switch or something so that when it senses the compressor kick on, it'll just turn that on. So pretty effective. I don't even have the fan hooked up yet, so I'll put the links down in the description for all the fittings, the cooler, the fan, and the tube. I think the tube was 12 bucks. The fittings were, I don't know, 10 or 12 bucks for little bags that I got. So I don't know, 50, 60, 70 bucks. I'd have to total it up. Anyways, it's not that expensive. It takes me about an hour to do it, and you can get cooler air. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.